preacher fellow weirdo, you're the black sheep of the flock. Come and take a load off, let's have a little talk. This side of the universe, the wildest place you've been. Welcome to the service at the party pen. Have a good time, laugh and giggle.
Come on in and smile just a little.
We're reading God's unofficial bio today.
The Bible lady's gonna
lead the way. I got the coffee and the smokes, I got the herb and the chair. Got a seat with your name on it waiting right there. Searching for the mystery, a better mind to find. Leave that stuffy, judgy world way back behind. And the rebels, we're the ones that don't fit in. But there's a holy kind of magic in the middle of the sin.
Yeah, the mystery is deep and the coffee's brewing strong. In the most offensive church where we all belong. Have a good time,
laugh and giggle.
Come on in and smile just a little.
We're reading God's unofficial bio today.
The Bible lady's gonna
lead the way. The mystery of God, what a beautiful find.
A better understanding for a
black sheep's mind.
Hey there, future fellow Bible bud, to the most offensive church this side of the universe, the party pen. We are about to embark on this quest through the Old Testament. We are going to read what it says and figure out what it means and find the lies and the deception that people use to make this book seem evil. Yeah, but first, we're going to get ready because I wasn't ready for some reason. Uno momento, por favor. Okay. Grazie, mi amor. I appreciate you. Thank you. So, it is another day, another dollar. No, I'm just kidding. But it is a new day and it is a new chapter. Yeah. Look, that's a good metaphor for life. It's a new day, it's a new chapter. Yeah. You can choose what you're going to do today. And you know what? That's some advice I could have took earlier. Did the dishes. But I didn't. For reasons that I don't even know. Oh, we're on chapter 41. Look, there's only a little bit left. Yeah, there literally is only a little bit left. What chapter is this? 50. Oh, look at that. We're 10 away. Sweet. Maybe these chapters will be short and we could just finish it. And then we could get to the longest, most drawn out book ever. Yeah. And there's so many nuggets of bullshit in here. Look, okay, it's not nuggets of, yes, it is. Because it's you'll see what I mean. But I guess it's not bullshit like bullshit. It's bullshit like bullshit. Like, why am I reading all this bullshit? It's kind of like that. And it's filled with it. Things we don't even need to know. I'm posting up Genesis 41. And maybe, because there's only 10 chapters left, so I'm hoping we can get through a lot of it. So we can move on to the bullshit that's in Genesis. Or Exodus. I'm sorry, Exodus. That book, oh my God. Oh, like, God is totally moving out of God the first house. He's making his own house. He's on ancient Pinterest, just finding shit and making people do it. And then he's super passive aggressive to Aaron because Aaron called him a cow. Look, it's going to be a whole thing, but we got to get there. Yeah, we'll see God's snot, his snooty side. Because he's a child of royalty. God the first was royalty. So God the second is royalty, and oh my God, does he act like it. But we'll find out, and we'll also see God mature through these books. We'll see him turn from a mid-20 asshole to like a mid-50s guy with a full-grown son, sacrificing him to the world. And we see God go through all of that. Oh, hopefully Rachel showed up. Thank you for liking my video, Ray. Maybe you could show up and say hi to me. She's not going to. Even though she should. I teach beautiful things, damn it. I teach beautiful things. And I remind people God is a human. God is human and he has feel bads. You remember that Joan Osborne song? What if God was one of us? Look, we see God go through so many human emotions in this book. And we see God picking out the weirdos, keeping the weirdos. Remember? Keeping the weird sheep, sacrificing the perfect sheep, but keeping the weird sheep. Jesus came for the weirdos, the people that have real emotions, that don't fit in, that aren't pretend, that are real fucking people. And we see God in Exodus, and I'll point it out. Because God wants you to be real. He wants you to be paying attention. He wants you to be yourself. Just like Jesus was. Jesus was a dick and he gave no shits about it. I would not have wanted to be Jesus' enemy. Because Jesus was a dickhead. He was an asshole. He was not nice. He was not nice. Not even for a little bit. But he did it with loving intentions. I suppose you could say that. But he did. He loved them with the sword of his mouth. He loved their neck with the sword of his mouth. Yeah. Jesus went hard in the paint. I want to say that. But anyway, enough of Jesus being awesome. We see God mature all through the Old Testament. And we see him get fed up with these people. But we see the whole codependent relationship that God has with these terrible ass people. And they don't even give a shit. And God loves them so much. He was so sad one time he tried to make friends with skeletons. Like literally, he was like, I'll make these skeletons my friends. Yeah, that was a thing that happened. It absolutely did. And we'll read about it. Yeah, we'll read about it. It comes in later. Foreshadowing, things to look forward to. Look forward to God making friends with skeletons. It was pretty awesome that he did that. But I'm going to finish smoking the cigarette. All right. Now we are on Genesis chapter 41. Okay. Then it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. Suddenly there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them, out of the river, ugly and gaunt, stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine looking cows. So Pharaoh awoke. He slept and dreamed a second time. And suddenly 7 ears of corn sprung up. And they was beautiful. It was like, it came up on one stalk. Very fine looking. Then 7 thin heads bladed by the east wind sprang up after them. And the 7 weird, gross, thin looking corns devoured the 7 plump and full heads. So Pharaoh woke, and indeed it was a dream. Now it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. And Pharaoh told him his dream, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. Dun, dun, dun. I bet a lot of innocent people died that day. Wow. Okay. Then the chief butler spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my faults this day, when Pharaoh was angry with us and put us in prison. Anyway, we had a dream, and one night, each of us dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream. Now there was a young Hebrew man. He's not really a Hebrew, but okay. With us there, a servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. Each one he interpreted. And it came to pass just as he had interpreted. You restored me to my office and you hang the other guy. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph. And they made him change his clothes and shave his face, look presentable to Pharaoh. And then they brought him to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said, I had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. But I have heard that you can understand and interpret a dream. And Joe answered the Pharaoh and said, no, no, no. It's God. It's God. And I will give you an answer of peace. And then the Pharaoh told Joseph his dream. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, the dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years. The dreams are one. And the 7 thin and ugly cows which came up after them are 7 years. This is the thing which I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. Indeed, 7 years of great and plenty will come throughout all the land of Egypt. But after them, 7 years of famine will arise, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt. And the famine will deplete the land, so the plenty will not be known because of the famine, for it will be very severe. And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now, therefore, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man and let him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this and let him appoint officers over the land to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Then that food shall be a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine. So the advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said, can we find such one as this man in whom is the Spirit of God? Hold on 1 second. I forgot to do this. Yeah. I forgot to do things. Okay, that worked. Okay. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, why can't it be you? You're going to do over it. You'll be over my house. All my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joe, see, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took his signet off his hand and put it on Joe. And he clothed them in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. 2 chains! And he had him ride in the second chariot. And they cried out before him, "Bow the knee!" So he set him over all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh also said to Job, "I am Pharaoh, and without your consent, no man may lift his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt." And Pharaoh called Joseph Zaphenath-Paaneah. Okay, so we're going to call him Zipper. And he gave him as a wife Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. So Joseph went out over all the land. Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. And Joe went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. Now, in the 7 plentiful years, the ground brought forth abundantly. So he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. He had laid up in every city the food of the fields which surrounded them. Joseph gathered very much grain, as the sand of the sea, until he stopped counting, for it was immeasurable. And to Joe were born 2 sons before the famine, Manasseh and Ephraim. Then 7 years of plenty, which were in the land of Egypt, ended, and the 7 years of famine began to come, as Joseph had said. The famine was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. So when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh was like, "Go see Joe, leave me alone. Do whatever he says." The famine was all over the place of the earth, and Joe opened all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians. And the famine became so severe in the land, all the countries came to Joe in Egypt to buy, because the famine was severe everywhere. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's the end of chapter 41. Okay, smoke them if you got them. Hello, everybody. Bye. Are you still here? Maybe. Maybe there might be somebody here. It says somebody is here. Ow. That hurt. Did you hear that? Am I not live on YouTube? What's happening? No, I'm live on YouTube. Okay. It says I'm live on YouTube, but it's not showing up on the thingamabob that I'm live on YouTube. Huh. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Wait a second. Huh. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay. Well, it's still saying I'm not live on YouTube, but YouTube says I'm live on YouTube. So I don't know. But we're going to go to chapter 42. I guess nobody's here. Well, it's okay. I like reading myself anyway. Put myself to sleep. Okay. Hold on, because it's going to bother me. Ain't nobody here anyway, so it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. There might be people here. Is it YouTube? All right, 1 second. Son of a fucking bitch. Okay, it does work. Give me just 1 second. Fuck, man. Let's do stuff. And that right there, what I just typed was to see if my YouTube was working. But YouTube is working. But it won't show up live here that I'm live on YouTube and it's bothering me. Okay. So we're on chapter 42. When Jacob saw that there was grain in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, "Why do you look at one another? Why? Why aren't you guys doing anything? Obviously, there's grain in Egypt and we have money. We could just go buy some." So Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy grain, but Jacob did not send Benjamin, for he said, "Lest some calamity befall him." And the sons of Jacob went out to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Now Joseph was governor over the land, and it was he who said to all the people of the land, And Joseph's brothers came and did the face thing. And Joseph saw his brothers and recognized him. But he acted as a stranger and spoke roughly to them. Then he said to them, "Where are you coming from?" And they said, "From Canaan to buy food." And Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Then Joe remembered the dreams which he had dreamed about them. And he said, "You are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land. You guys suck and soft. Roar." And they were like, "No, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all one man's sons. We are honest men. Your servants are not spies." And he said, "No, but you have come to see the nakedness of the land." And they were like, "No, no, no. There's 12 of us, the son of one man. And in fact, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more." But Joseph said to them, "It is as I spoke to you. You are definitely spies. In this manner you shall be tested. By the life of Pharaoh, you shall not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you. Let him bring your brother, and you shall be kept in prison that your words may be tested to see whether there is any truth in you. Or else, by the life of Pharaoh, surely you are spies." So he put them all together in prison for 3 days. Then Joseph said to them, on the third day, "Do this and live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house, but you go and carry grain for the famine of your houses, and bring your youngest brother to me, so your words will be verified, and you shall not die." And they did so. And they said to one another, "We are truly guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the anguish of his soul when he pleaded with us, and we would not hear. Therefore, this distress has come upon us." And Reuben said, "Did I not speak to you, saying, 'Do not sin against the boy,' and you would not listen? Therefore, behold, his blood is now required of us." But they did not know Joe understood them, for he spoke to them through an interpreter. And he turned himself away from them and wept. Then he returned to them again and talked with them. And he took Simeon from them, and he bound him before their eyes. Then Job gave a command to fill their sacks with grain, to restore all of their money, and to give provisions for the journey. Thus he did for them. So they loaded their donkeys with the grain and departed. But as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey feed at the encampment, he saw his money, and there it was in the mouth of his sack. So he said to his brothers, "My money has been restored, and there it is in my sack." And their hearts failed them, and they were afraid, saying to one another, "What is this that God has done to us?" Then they went to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan, and told him all that happened to them, saying, "The man who is Lord of the land spoke roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. But we told him that we was good. We told him about all of our brothers and stuff. And we told him about Ben. Then the man, the lord of the country, said, "By this I will know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take food for the rest of your house and be gone. And bring your youngest brother to me, so I shall know that you are not spies, but that you are honest men. I will grant your brother to you, and you may trade in the land." Then it happened as they emptied their sacks that surprisingly each man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said, "You have bereaved me. Joe is no more. Simeon is no more. And you want to take Ben? All these things are against me." Then Reuben spoke to his father, saying, "Kill my two sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you." But Jake was like, "My son shall not go with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If any calamity should befall him among the way which you go, then you would bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave." Dun, dun, dun. That's the end of that chapter. This is crazy. We might get through a lot of this tonight. Wouldn't that be fun? It would be totally fun. But why do you come back? Hmm. Okay. Okay. Damn it. I can't be getting tired already. It's not even bedtime. Actually, it is bedtime. It's a lot of bedtime right now. Now, chapter 43. Now, the famine was severe in the land, and it came to pass when they had eaten up the grain which they had brought from Egypt, their father said, "Go back, buy us a little food." And Judah was like, "The man solemnly warned us, saying, 'Don't see my face until your brother is with you. If you send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. But if you will not send him, we will not go down.' For the man said to us, 'You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you.'" Because Joe is trying to make sure they didn't kill Ben because they're jealous dickheads. And Jacob was like, "Why did you deal so wrongfully with me as to tell the man whether you had another brother?" But they said, "The man asked us pointedly about ourselves and our family, saying, 'Is your father still alive? Do you have another brother?' And we told him, 'Yes.' How could we have possibly known that he'd be like, 'Bring your brother'?" Then Judah said to his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die. Both we, you, and our little ones. I myself will be surety for him. From my hand you shall require him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before me, then let me bear the blame forever. For if we had not lingered, surely by now we would have turned a second time. And their father said to them, I guess I if you have to, but take some of the best fruits in your vessels and carry down a present for the man. A little balm, honey, spices, myrrh, pistachios, almonds. Take double money in your hand and take back the money from last time. Take your brother also. Go on, and may God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may release your other brother and Ben. If I am bereaved, then I am bereaved. Man. Oh, now it says YouTube is working. Awesome. If you're on YouTube, can you chat in the chat and see if it's working? I know it worked when I did it, but I don't know because earlier it wasn't showing YouTube, but now it's showing YouTube. So maybe it is live on YouTube. Yay, YouTube. Okay. Anyway, he says, if I'm brave, then I'm brave. So the men took that present and Benjamin. They took double money and arose and went down. And they stood before Joe. And when Joe saw Ben, he said to the steward of his house, take these men to my home and slaughter an animal and make ready for these men. Will dine with me at noon. Then the man did as Joe ordered, and he brought the men into Joe's house. Now, the men were afraid because they were brought to Joseph's house, and that can't be good. And they said, this is because of the money which was returned in our sacks the first time. So he can make a case against us and seize us and make us slaves. Now, when they drew near the steward of Joe's house, they talked with him at the door of the house, and he said, we indeed came down the first time to buy food, but it happened when we came to the encampment that we opened our sacks, and each man's money was in the mouth. So we have brought it back, and we have brought down other money in our hands to buy food. We do not know who put our money back in our sack. But he was like, nah, it's not a big deal. Your God and the God of your father has given you treasure in your sack. I had your money. Then brought Simeon out to them. Hold on. God allows us to be us. We are flesh. Yes. Yay. God is so human. It's so funny. God is so human. I love watching him mature in this book. It's crazy. He goes through everything in this book. I think God likes attention. I don't so much think he's so codependent. I think the Bible makes him seem very codependent. Uh, Wait, let me finish. Hold on. He brought Simeon. So the man brought the men into Joseph's house, gave them water to wash their feet, gave their donkeys feed. Then they made the present ready for Joe's coming at noon, for they heard that they would eat bread there. And then when Joe came home, they brought him the present into the house and did the face thing. Then he asked them how they were, and he asked them about their dad. He asked if their dad was still alive. And they were like, yeah, he's good. Yep. And they did the face thing again for some reason. Then he lifted his eyes and saw Ben, his mother's son, and said, is this your younger brother of whom you spoke to me? And he said, God be gracious to you, my son. Now his heart yearned for his brother. So Joe made haste and sought somewhere to weep. And he went into his chamber and wept there. Then he washed his face and came out and restrained himself. And he said, serve the bread. Hey, what's up, Robert Tucker? I just want to call you Trucker. I've been calling you Trucker this whole time because I can't read. So, hi, Trucker. Haha. I love you. Yeah, you should communicate with me sometime because I love communicating. But I got to finish this real quick. So they set him a place by himself, and they by themselves, and the Egyptians who ate with him by themselves, because the Egyptians can't eat with the Hebrews, these terrible ass people, because cooties, because it was an abomination, because cooties. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men looked in astonishment at one another. Then he took servings to them from before him. But Ben was 5 times as much of theirs. So they drank and were merry with him. Okay. Now we are in between chapters real quick. So, but I'm going to read what this says because I think I can read. Because why wouldn't I think I can read? Okay. We'll leave that right there. Okay. God allows us to be us. We are flesh. We evil and good. We are two lost souls swimming in a fish bowl, year after year, running over the same old ground till we found the same old fears. Wish you were here. Sorry, it seemed my mind. Whew, there it goes. Okay. We are souls in a flesh body. Jesus is King. It's not a big deal. It's nothing we can't handle. We're used to being judged every day. It's totally okay. As long as you are okay with yourself at the end of the day, God will be okay with you at the end of the day. You will be surprised who gets into heaven. You got to be happy to get into heaven. You know, you got to be happy, forgiving. You just got to be a happy soul. And then you get into heaven. Angry people don't get into heaven. They may live a long time because they pickled their souls being evil. People like that don't get into heaven. God is really happy. And as you read this book, you will find that out. God, He wants happy weirdos who are okay being themselves. He likes confident, happy people. If you know what you're doing, you don't have to sacrifice. If you don't know what you're doing and you're not paying attention, you have to sacrifice. We learned that in Exodus. I'll point it out. Look at that. Foreshadowing things to look forward to. My chair makes farting noises. Oh, now it's not going to. Great. Kind of doing it. Never mind. This chair amuses me all day. I sit and do that. You won't believe it, but I do. I hurt my leg. Damn it, Robert, you should be talking to me. You never talk to me. You watch my videos, but you never talk to me. Anyway, we're on chapter 44. It looks like I marked this one too. Okay, but why would I mark this one? This isn't even a thing. This, I don't know why this would be important. This isn't even an important story. Okay. Well, we're going to read it, but I don't know why I marked it. Maybe it's so I knew where I was at one time. I don't know. But why would this be important? Oh, I was probably railing on somebody else reading this story and forgot. Okay. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put each man's money in the mouth of his sack. Also put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest, and his grain money. So he did according to the word that Joe had spoken. As soon as the morning dawned, the men were sent away, and their donkeys. Oh, they were sent away. They and their donkeys. Okay, that was a weird way to write that, but okay. When they had gone out of the city and were not yet far off, Joe said to his Joe said to his steward, get up, follow the men, and when you overtake them, say to them, why have you repaid evil for good? Is this not the one from which my Lord drinks, and with which he indeed practices divination? You have done evil in so doing. Evil in so doing. Okay. So he overtook them, and he spoke to them these same words. And they were like, "Why do you say this? Look, we didn't take nothing from you. Look, we even tried to give you stuff back. What? Why would they do that? With whomever of your servants is found, let him die, and we will also be your slaves." That's crazy. And he said, "Now, also, let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be my slave, and you shall be blameless." Then each man speedily let down his sack to the ground, and each opened. So he searched, and he began with the oldest and left with the youngest. And the cup was found in Ben's sack. Then they got naked, and each man loaded his donkey and returned to the city. Uh-oh. What's going to happen? So Judah and his brothers came to Joe's house, and he was still there. And they fell before him. They did the face thing. And Joe said, "Why did you do this? Didn't you know I would practice divination? I don't even know what that is, but I practice it." Yeah. I don't know what that is, and I don't practice it. Then Judah said, "What shall we say?" What? What? I don't even know what's happening. How can we clear ourselves? God has found the iniquity of your servants. Here we are. My Lord slaves, do what also both we and he also, from whom the cup was found. Uh, but he was like, "Far be it from me that I should do so. The man in whose hand the cup was found, he shall be my slave. And as for you, go home." Uh, then Judah was like, "Oh, no, 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 I need to talk to you. Look, don't even be mad. Listen, you're like Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servants, saying, 'Have you a father or a brother?' And we were like, 'Yes.'" Okay. "We have a father, an old man, and a child of his own age, who is dead. And then he alone is left of his mother's children, and his father loves him. Then you said, 'Bring him down. I need to see him.' And we were like, no." And we were like, "No," because Doodle died. Literally died. And then you made us bring him down because, well, you're mean. So it was, then we went up to my dad and we told him what you said. And he was like, okay, go buy us some food. And we were like, no, not unless we have Ben. Then we will go. Then my dad was like, you know, my wife bore me 2 sons. The one left and died, and I have not seen him since. But if you take this one and calamity befalls him, you will bring my dead. That's not God's name. His name is God. I'm not even answering that or reading it. Call God God, because that's not his name. His name's not Yah. That's a different God. That's not God. God. And I'm not even paying attention to that. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Now, therefore, when I come to my dad and he is not with us, his life is bound with the lad's life. It will happen when he sees it that he's gonna die. Like, literally die. It's gonna be some shit. So, like, we cannot do that, right? So, look, let me take the place of him because my dad's not really going to give a shit. I mean, my kids might, my wife might. Actually, did my wife die? I don't remember. But I'm sure people will miss me, but not as much as my dad will miss this kid. So, take me instead, right? So, now we are in between chapters. Okay, I'll read this shit. But just know, this yacht is not God's name. It's Abe, Isaac, and Jake. It's the God of Abe, Isaac, and Jake. And that's God the second. That's my God. God the second. His name is just God. Well, actually, we'll find out his real name in Exodus, but I'm only going to say it in Exodus because I agreed with God because he was kind of mad that I kept calling him that. So, I'm not going to call him that no more. I'm just going to call him God. Big guy. His name is Big Guy. Yeah. But that yeah and all that, like, what the fuck are they called? They don't celebrate holidays because they like abusing their children. Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, they call him that. The Mormons call him something stupid too. Or no, they're like Mother God. Yeah, that's a Lord Mother or something. What is it? What is she called? Mother God. God the Mother. Some crap like that. Boy, it's aggravating beyond all belief. God's name is God. And you just call him God because there's there's no other. He's God. He doesn't need anyone to name him. He's already named. But we're about to go on to chapter 45. Damn. Man, that's such a great sound. My chair is so embarrassing. Yeah, but that's none of that is God. I don't understand, and I told you, just call God God, please. I don't want to call him that. Look, you don't understand how picky God is, and I'm not trying to piss that guy off because I don't know if you've ever seen him mad, but I've seen him mad, and his name is God. Just God, just plain old God. Or if you want to be cute, you could call him Big Gay. I only do that sometimes because I think it's funny. He probably doesn't think it as funny as I do. But, but, but I don't want to argue with you and I don't want to lose subscribers. I don't. And I value your opinion. I do. But I am not a Christian. I don't claim to be. I'm not any sect of any kind of people. I'm just a lover of God. God is like my best friend and he treats me so good. So I know him as God and I know that people like to make names for him and then make their own religion and then call God something different. And that's aggravating because they're stealing other they're just I don't know how to explain it. It's just not something that I personally would I just get to know God by his name. Get to know God by God. Have a good time. And you should get to know God for God. You know, don't use the made up name. Use the real name. Bet you treat you better. Like way better. Like if you get to know God for God outside of all those pretend names, he's good. He's a good friend to have. You gotta know him. It's very important. Okay. So now we're on chapter 45. That's my favorite president. 45, but he's still alive. Fucking right he is. Okay. So anyway, then Joseph could not restrain himself before all those who stood by him. My cats are crackheads. Uh, then Joseph could not restrain himself before all those who stood by him. And he cried out, "Make everyone go from me." So no one stood with him, while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard it. Well, yeah, but God, I am going to agree to disagree with you only because I want to read the Old Testament. I love this book. And I want you to be as excited as me about reading this book and then finding shit in it. I found all kinds of songs in this book before, and I found things that kind of don't make sense. I found a lot of rules that are clearly fucking made up. And I found all sorts of stuff in here, and I am on a quest to find as many things as I can in this book. So, come with me. Be my Bible bud. Let's smoke a joint and agree to disagree. Because I don't do religion stuff. I do Bible stuff. I am a God scholar. Actually, yeah, I could be considered a Bible scholar. I've been reading this book long enough. And I've been doing it on camera for a very long time. A very, very, very long time. Will you smoke this joint with me? Do I have a joint? Well, kinda, I guess. I might just have a joint. Is anybody gonna smoke this joint with me if I roll it? Well, I am gonna roll it. Is anybody gonna smoke it? That's the better question. Damn, that smells. Damn. That's some stank. Man. Mm. Oh. Oh, if that was perfume, oh my God, forget about it. Oh, it's fugazi. Mm. That, that shit smells dank. Mm. Mm-hmm. Ooh-wee. I don't, uh, I don't know. I want to smoke this joint. Dun, dun, dun. Toodaloo. Toodaloo. Damn. Okay, so we are on chapter 45. Oh, yeah. Pharaoh heard it. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joe. Does my father still live? But his brothers could not answer them because they were mind blown. Okay? And Joe said, please come near to me. So They were like, okay. And he was like, I am Joseph, whom you sold to Egypt. But don't worry, I don't hold a grudge because, I mean, have you seen my life? I have a great life. So, thank you. Okay. Whom you sold to Egypt. Therefore, be grieved. Do not be grieved or angry with yourselves because clearly, look, God sent me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years, the famine has been in the land. There is still 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. And God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you on the earth and save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you who sent me here, but God, because, yeah, way to turn a negative into a positive, Joe. I love you. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, a lord to all his house, and a ruler throughout the land of Egypt. Hurry up and go to my father and say to him, Joe said, um, say to yourself, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry, for you shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near me, and your children and your children's children, your flocks and your herd, and all that you have. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen. You shall be near to me, you, your children, your children's children, your flocks, your herds, all that you have. There I will provide for you, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty, for there is still 5 years of famine. And behold, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see that it is my mouth that speaks to you. So you shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that you have seen. You shall hurry and bring my father down here. Then he fell on his brother Ben's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brothers and wept over them. And after that, his brothers talked with him. Like, sorry, don't be too mad at us because it probably wasn't that bad. Maybe, right? Like it all worked out for you, so we're sorry and stuff. So now the report of it was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joe's brothers have come. So it pleased Pharaoh and his servants well. And Pharaoh said to Joe, say to your brothers, do this, load your animals and depart to the land of Canaan. Bring your father and your households and come to me. I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you will eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded to do this. Take carts out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and your wives. Bring your father and come. Also, do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. Then these terrible ass people did so. And Joe gave them cards according to the command of Pharaoh. And he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave to all of them, each man, changes of garments, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver, 5 changes of clothes. And he sent to his father these things. So a whole bunch of shit. So he sent his brothers away and they departed. And he was like, see that you do not become troubled along the way. Then they went up and came to the land of Canaan to Jacob their father. And they were like, Joe is still alive and he is governor over all of Egypt. And Jacob's heart stood still because he did not believe them. But when they told him all the words which Joseph had said to them, when he saw the carts which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father was revived. Then he said, it is enough. Joseph, my son, is still alive, and I will go see him before I die. Why? Like, my computer hasn't done this in days. What is happening? Oh, yeah. Okay. Are you, did I also make you angry? I'm good at making people angry. But it's okay. People wouldn't be here if they didn't need a place to find God. So, if you find God at my cookie church, fuck yeah. Okay. How long? We're at an hour and a half. Okay. Yeah. We'll stop right there because there's only 50 chapters. 7. Okay, well, we might do, I don't know. Hold on. 47 is kind of long. Okay. Here's what we'll read 46. We'll stop at chapter 47. We'll stop at the end of chapter 46. Good idea. Okay. Okay. So is Jacob took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba, offered sacrifices to the God of Isaac. Then God spoke to him in the visions of the night and said,
right here. Jake! Jake! I am the God. I am God. I am God. Look, that doesn't say YAH. That says GOD. Because I am God, the God of your father. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make of you a great nation there. I will go down with you to Egypt, I will also surely bring you up again. And Joe will put his hand on your eyes. Don't know what that means, but okay.
Okay. Then Jake arose from Beersheba, and his sons carried their father Jacob, their little ones, their wives, and the carts which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. So they took their livestock and their goods, which they had acquired in Canaan, and went to Egypt, and Jacob and all his descendants with him. His sons, his sons, his daughters, oh my God, and all his descendants he brought with him to Egypt. And no, we're not reading all these names. I'm not reading all these names. Okay. I'm going to start it again at verse 26. All the persons who went with Jacob to Egypt, who came from his body, besides Jacob's sons' wives, were 60 people. And the sons of Joseph who were born to him in Egypt were 2. All the persons of the house of Jacob who went to Egypt were 70. Then he sent Judah before him to Joe to point out before him the way to Goshen. Then they came to the land of Goshen. So Joseph made ready his chariot and went to meet his father. And he presented himself to him, and he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And he said to Joe, now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you are still alive. Then Joe said to his brothers and his father's household, I will go tell Pharaoh and say to him, my brothers and those of my father's house who were in the land of Canaan came to me, and they are shepherds, for their occupations has been to feed livestock, and they have brought their flocks, their herds, and all they have. So it shall be when Pharaoh calls you and says, what is your occupation? Tell him your occupation has been with livestock from your youth, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. All right, that was the end of that. That was the end of that. Tomorrow we'll pick up on chapter 47. So I want to thank everybody for watching, even that lady or man, Michael. Michael, it's a man, Michael Smith. That's cool. Even that guy. I'm glad that he watched or paid attention a little bit. Watch a little bit. Maybe he'll be back. Or maybe he won't. But he might be back. Or maybe subscribed, so he will be back. I mean, maybe. But over there on the Pilled side, thank you, Bot, for showing up and showing out. I appreciate you. And everybody else who watched, thank you. I love you. Come and join the chat. Have a conversation about these biblical topics. Well, something's happening. No. Okay. Am I getting my life together properly? I am. Okay. So, I do want to thank everybody for watching. I want to tell everybody I actually, I do want to tell everybody it's time to give the pillows some head and the sheets some ass and have the absolute sweetest dreams ever. Love y'all so much.
The Bible lady reserves for the Lord. Grow grass, and rest with the crowd. Bible lady's here, light up the house. For the wicked have seen their last as we all inhale life. Good smoke as we all learn from the pasture. Bring it, saints. Bring it, saints.
Man, that was the total fucking awesome song. Anyway, love you.